I'm not surprised at anything that Cassie is saying right now. What I do find interesting is that everyone is acting so surprised. What will I say about what he said? I think he's telling the absolute truth.
Real life. If that ain't real life,
It ain't real life. Just say real life street stars. You know what time it is.
Real life street stars, we are back with one of the most exclusive
Let's go.
type interviews with Jaguar Wright, to where this right here might be the chickens come home to roost interview, because we started a journey about 5 years ago, right before COVID, and you coming in to speak on the truths of the industry, things that at the time the real life street stars didn't quite have that access to, the type of stories you were giving us. Maybe we weren't even ready for it, but you were speaking on truths that go on behind the scenes that kind of blew a lot of our fans' minds, but it also intrigued a lot of people to know what more truth is out there. And as we started that journey 5 years ago, and even once, this lawsuit came about regarding Sean Combs, you were already speaking on things, telling Cassie that she needs to run and things of that nature before the world knew what you were talking about. So obviously you had some knowledge of things going on that the world should be looking at. And here we are. The trial has started. We have you on, and first and foremost, we have to say thank you for taking time out to come on. So we have to always do like we always do, is first ask, how are your spirits? How are you feeling? How are things?
So it's a weird space for me. Um, I've been on this journey for 5 years. And sometimes I wonder. And then I stop. But then God will send me a message. And one of my drivers this week recognized me right away. He didn't know who he was going to be driving. They didn't tell him. And when he saw me, and it was wild because I was wearing the first cruelty-free T-shirt that is up here. And he said, I knew it was you from the blue couch. And he was just talking to me about his own personal journey. And he said to me that it was me that motivated him in his taking a stand for the truth, to reunite with his children. His children have been taken from him. And he said, if it wasn't for you, he said, I saw you every time I watched you on the blue couch. I knew I had to keep going, just like you. And we took a picture as he dropped me off, because it was his child's birthday, and she's a Taurus. He said, I tell my kids about you all the time. They always see you. He said, I can't believe God put you in my car. It's humbling. That's how I feel, humbled.
Definitely.
Because the truth is, there are millions of people who have watched our interviews who have found strength, encouragement, and a value in truth. We did that here. So, yeah, I guess the best way to describe me right now is I'm humbled that God would trust me with this. And I'm surprised that I did the right thing, despite all odds. So here we are.
Here we are. Jack, you currently, and again, if people are watching this trial closely, you are actually boots on the ground there in, ground zero. You're at that courthouse. You went there day one. Let's start off just by speaking on, the first, let's just start off by speaking on you going back to the East Coast, because I don't think you've even been back to New York in a while. You've kind of been more on the West Coast, mountain area, and to go back to the Mecca of where a lot of stuff happened for you. How was that, first and foremost?
Awesome
How
and weird. awesome and weird. When we pulled up in front of Daddy's house to film, I remember when that started, walking down Hudson, passing by the corner right there at the Holland Tunnel, where I used to drive up from Philly every week. You know, Black Lily, Roots Crew, Rich Nichols, pulling up to that corner and heading out there, getting into that club and me building my name, showing up the first couple of weeks and only 15, 20 people show up. And a month later, there's a line down the street. 3 months later, it was a line around the corner. And it's funny because sometimes I would pull up, we would jump out, and I would have my hoodie on, always hiding in plain sight. And I woke up like, yo, what's this line for? What y'all, man, we trying to get in the Lily, man. You trying to get into the Lily? Yeah, we going to Black Lily. Oh, for real? Who playing? Who y'all? Man, we here to see the Jaguar. Just memories like that. Being out Flatbush, out 125th and St. Nick, like I remember being a girl in those streets, and now here I am, a woman coming back to correct everything that was wrong when it was my turn. It's like walking in your own living time capsule, going up to the rooftops and looking over everything. It's been a mind screw a bit. It's been good.
Definitely. Can you speak on what made you want to go to be there present for day one of this trial? What kind of inspired you to go there and be there for this?
I needed to be there. I was the only person there speaking for the victims except for the prosecution. I was the only one there to stand in solidarity other than the prosecution. Looking around at all the YouTubers interloping, begging, waiting in line to get into the courtroom so that they could gossip, or should I say, misinform the public of what's real. Thank God for court transcripts, because I can honestly say that there would be 80 million remixes if it wasn't for that. I had to be there. And not just that, I was there as a reporter myself, as a journalist myself. I needed to be there to document that first day. It's one of the most important parts of my journey for cruelty free. But I wanted to be there and make prayer before everybody got there. And just reach out to the prosecutor as they came up and let them know. You have platforms that are backing you. We're praying for your success. And that moment with her was awesome. I prayed for her. I prayed for her safety. She told me that she does the same for me. And I asked her the most important question there was to ask: are you ready? And she looked me in my face like I called her on a bluff, and she said, "We're ready."
Wow.
It was all very surreal.
Yeah, it's man, it's very surreal. How was I know you stated there are other YouTubers out there. It seems like it's a little chaotic outside the courthouse. How was it being there firsthand with the
Not as chaotic as people would think, or as people are leading people to believe. When I pulled up, I didn't see no tents. I ain't see no people selling tickets to sit outside in a tent. I didn't see none of that. I was there before everyone got there. I was on those court steps filming at 6 a.m. in the morning. And I was there when everybody got there. I was there before the press corps got there. It's not what people are saying. Oddly enough, the lead on my security detail also said to me it was a lot easier than he thought it was going to be. He thought it was going to be a lot worse. He only had to, push off about 2, 3 people off of me. He had to take one guy, spin him around, interrupting me while I was having to sit down with the BBC. Very funny. After I actually that happened right after I declined to give a statement to TMZ twice. I thought that was interesting. They was on me. From the second they saw me.
Why not speak to TMZ?
Why would I?
Thank you. You're right.
Why would I speak to people who allow lying platforms on YouTube, which copies over to Google to tell lies about me and Tony Busby and print it as if it were real when it came from a duplicitous YouTuber who should be in a mental hospital or in jail? Why would I want to speak to them? When I called them and told them that they needed to retract it, they hung up on me and tried to pretend like they didn't know that they had just called me. If they really wanted to talk to me, why didn't they talk to me then? Or when they decided to run with the story about the lawsuit, the Ashley Parham lawsuit. I find it funny. TMZ tried to pretend like I didn't exist for 4.5 years. And now they know me? Keep that same energy. Keep that same energy. I just wish they had set that man over there on a dummy mission to steal an interview while I was interviewing with someone else and to disrupt a credible interview that I was doing with the BBC. So much so to the point, and we'll say allegedly, but I do believe I saw him with someone from the TMZ crew earlier that day when everyone pulled up, when I was there before everyone else. You wouldn't leave me alone. Every time I told TMZ no, he kept coming. So much so to the point where my security guard, 6'7" tall, and no joke, had to literally spin him and grab him. It's funny how people do that. Create public nuisance. That's all TMZ is. Public nuisance. As far as I'm concerned, they're only interested in publishing lies and protecting Diddy and Jay-Z. That's how it looks to me at this point. And I have no need to talk to them. Why? So they can try to Tokyo Tony me? I'm good. I don't need no remixes.
There you go.
I came with my own microphone.
Okay. All right. So, Jack, this is about to get very interesting because we have 4 days of testimony. I want to kind of just start off with the male escort that came in. Of course, the prosecution has a bunch of witnesses. They expect this case to last 8 weeks. They started off with a male escort who, of course, spoke on the situation that happened. Can I get your take on the male escort's testimony as far as him saying who would call him for these free calls, how he met Cassie and Diddy, and Diddy being at first he would be covered in bandanas and shades, and then after a while he's they're on Cassie together. Can you speak on that testimony that he gave?
I've already spoken on it. That's the thing. Anything that's about to be said in that courtroom, I've already spoke about at length here on this couch.
Front door lock unlocked.
Are they saying anything different than I've already said that they be doing?
Yeah, you're right. You're on it.
How many times have I said? This Africa is wild. They wild. And everybody knew about it. I could have sworn to God I said that 1,000,000 times. Everyone knew. Everyone. So no, I'm not surprised at anything he had to say. I'm not surprised at anything that Cassie is saying right now. What I do find interesting is that everyone is acting so surprised. What will I say about what he said? I think he's telling the absolute truth. Like when the opening statements in the defendant's case start as, well, my client has drug addiction and he suffers from jealous primal rage. I mean, yeah, he did these things, but it really wasn't that bad. Everybody loved him and they wanted to be loved by him in the manner in which he likes loving people. What did I say about R. Kelly? Do y'all remember that? The first time we did the blue couch, after the chair, when it went from the light wall to the couch with a light on it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Love and pedophilia. Love and year. Love and year. Yeah. How is this any different? Is nobody realizing that a lot of the testimony that we're hearing against the diddler right now, very similar to the things that people were saying about R. Kelly?
Yes.
Why is nobody paying attention to that? Why does no one want to look at what's right there? All of this is disgusting. And I felt bad that his daughters had to run out of there. And I'm praying for Jesse and Delilah every day, because they had to go and sit there and listen to their dad be talked about honestly.
You know, the prosecution did say that, no, you're going to hear some testimony that, of course, is supposed to be criminal activity, but the defense is saying, no, you're going to hear testimony that Diddy he's freaky and there are some domestic violence. He has admitted to that, but there's no criminal activity. Did they overshoot, you feel, for well, again, I know we're still working it, but do you feel they overshot for the accusations of racketeering when this should have been probably a state case regarding domestic
Oh
violence?
no. When you have employees that are being fingered for setting things up, keeping tabs on witnesses, or I'm sorry, keeping tabs on people, like Christina Coram was keeping tabs on Cassie, which she just testified to the other day. Kind of like how the baby Love with her mother.
Yes, I forget her name, but the new.
Kim Porter.
Mm.
She was spying on Kim Porter for Diddy. These aren't relationships. To sit there and say that this is a relationship while he was consistently betting men and women the entire time he was with her, that's not a relationship. It's a jump off with benefits at best. These aren't relationships. Meanwhile, he's doing all of these things with the girl Gina, Cassie. The only one that ain't tripping about it is Young Miami. And is it time to put Young Miami on a milk carton?
Right.
She was so vocal about how Diddy could make sure that a woman was down on her knees eating her cat. What kind of relationship is that? These aren't relationships.
Yeah, right.
And when you look at all of the money that is involved, it definitely just ain't for fun.
Mm.
People transporting illegal substances, dyeing food coloring. What part of the game is that? Why is everybody so afraid to look at the fact that what they're really trying to do is stop this RICO from kicking off?
Right.
Because see, that's the one thing we all really need to be talking about. Diddy's handled up on. But if they had done a better investigation in the R. Kelly case, They would have found ties to Diddy. They would have found ties to Mr. Carter. They would have found ties to Harvey Weinstein. They would have found ties to Jeffrey Epstein. They could have handled all of this years ago. But see, they chose the acceptable monster so that everyone else could keep playing. While everyone is sitting here looking at the trial, listening to all of these terrible things that I've been telling people have been happening for years. Why are we not looking at the people that are trying to get away? See, everybody's trying to stop this RICO from happening. And I'm telling y'all right now, this is the remix that's going to be a hit. Rico Suave for everybody, baby. That's why I'm there. Because I want to make sure don't nobody miss nothing.
Jag, who do you think is all going to be in the RICO?
Who do I think's going to be in it?
Yeah.
How about we say it like this? Since people like putting me in lawsuits fraudulently and everyone wants to sue me, let's be a little careful today. I'm going to tell you who I think should be in it. Sean Carter, Curtis Periwinkle Jackson. I'm about sick of him. Did you see that crap that he put up last night?
No, what did he put up?
Finger in the Jigga Man for helping Diddy boom boom Kid Cudi's car. That's interesting, isn't it?
Oh, damn.
Funny thing is he's always saying little slick stuff. And don't nobody ever figure he needs to be subpoenaed for any of it. If we go back and we think about things that he said before Cassie filed the lawsuit, right before Cassie filed the lawsuit, he was talking about how Diddy used to send videos of Cassie getting partied on, getting freaked off on. And he said he called him and he said, hey, have you seen this? I thought this was your girl. I thought you loved her. Oh, yeah, she loves it. She loves it. Whoop-de-whoop-de-woo, yada, yada, yada. That was evidence of a freak-off that he had footage of. Why was that not subpoenaed? And if he knows so much, why isn't he a material witness? I don't get it. Everybody's so interested in hauling me off the court to force me on the stand to do this and to do that. But this man is sitting over here, he's been dry snitching for almost 2 years straight. And he's not a witness? Why not? If you have knowledge that the Jigga Man helped the diddler boom boom Kid Cudi's car because he didn't want his property messed with, which was Cassie, why ain't nobody asking him to come testify about it? Why is he not being called in? Like all of this, oh, I'm gonna sit on Instagram and I'm gonna just shoot a shot and I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna sit back and watch. And yet, please, this is serious. People have been hurt. People have been destroyed. Now you just want to be the lineup king, Curtis, huh? How about we line you up everything you did with Soulja Boy? Who is now being used as a dog whistle against DDG? All of this is getting real suspicious. Real suspicious.
Come on.
Tory Lanez getting poked up. And now, all of a sudden, I'm sorry, did I have some things to say about the Tory?
Yeah, we're gonna circle back to Tory.
Oh.
But I do want to ask you, you know, for Cassie to take the stand, and mind you, there's no cameras in court. For Cassie going up there pregnant, almost due, for the optics of that, Uh, how do you feel? Just you personally, the optics of hearing about freak offs, hearing about these things that happened, years ago, and seeing her there because her husband is there too, and I believe he stormed off as well because she has children and now she's pregnant. The optic of seeing her up there, you know,
Being treated like a sex worker,
yeah,
being disrespected, all of the things. God bless Alex Fine. God bless Mr. Fine. Nobody has really thought about what this must be like for him. The second that him and Cassie pulled up in New York, they already had YouTubers like ex-bad boy cheerleaders who still bragging about being loyal to the dip, calling her a whore, telling people not to care about her baby. He said Mary Magdalene was a whore, and he compared her like, and y'all better not be affected by that baby bump. Whores have babies too. Who says that?
wow,
Talking about he knows where her family is from because he's from New London, Connecticut. And everyone wants to keep barreling down on Ryan Leslie. It's funny. I talked about the whole Ryan Leslie connection. Ryan loved Cassie, bragged about her. Cassie just testified. She has tattoos on her body from Ryan Leslie. But nobody ever talks about how that relationship ended and how her relationship with Diddy began. Ryan was blowing up. And after him and Cassie separated, gone. I wonder why. If Diddy has ran around and threatened every other man that was interested in Cassie while he was busy abusing her, neglecting her, confusing her, why wouldn't we think that he put the moves on Ryan Leslie? I thought it was interesting when he did Drink Champs, because he just recently, not that long ago, did a Drink Champ interview with Nori and them over on the Peer Pressure podcast.
mm.
I was shocked to see that. I didn't understand the relevance. I didn't understand why he would do anything for a network that was affiliated with Diddy. I didn't get it. Didn't make any sense to me. Not at all. But what I do know is this. Diddy has a history of bullying women into relationships with him and bullying men away from the women that he desires to possess. And I can speak about that very clearly because that's exactly what he did with Kim Porter, and I'll be sure. We've heard what was said. They were married. Quincy was on the way. He wrote Forever My Lady in honor of Kim and Quincy. They were happy. Diddy came into the studio and said, man, I wish I could get a beautiful girl like that. This is while he was still with Misa. And Justin was already born. And Diddy said, but you have a beautiful woman and a beautiful family. Apparently, Diddy wanted his. And we see how that turned out.
Did you get a chance to watch Albie Shore's Good Morning America? I think it was Good Morning America where he did an interview
I
speaking
watched
more
some
in
of
depth.
it. I couldn't watch. I'm trying my hardest not to watch anything other than what I'm focusing on. But I saw what I could. And I'm happy that he's getting a chance to speak. I'm happy.
Definitely.
And I'm happy that he's there so that he can give accurate accounts from Kim. Because the truth is, if Kim Porter was still alive, she would be the star witness right now. Hmm. It's triggering.
It
When
seems
you,
like, speaking of Cassie, it seems like Diddy does have a hold over her, that she can't really speak on it the way, like, I guess being in a room with him, because she hasn't been in a room with him for almost a decade now. And to be there, it seemed like it's hard for her to really say what happened. That effect, they call it Stockholm syndrome. They call it a couple different things, to where she might feel like maybe this is how love is. Can you speak to that with young girls in the industry that comes into,
she,
men of power?
she was 19 when the introduction happened. He was fully entrenched in her life by her 21st birthday. She was plied with jobs, trips, fun. She was modeling. She wanted to be an artist. She got into acting. Let's be clear, all young women coming into the business are groomed to be susceptible to favor from the boss. Nobody tells you how it's going to go. Nobody tells you what their real aim is. All you know is that you made it, right? And then you see what the cost of making it is every day after that. There was no way in the world Cassie could have been prepared for what was coming at her. And guess what? If everyone else around her was going along with it, why wouldn't it be fair to assume that she figured, well, this is just what I have to do? You know?
Yeah, she made a statement saying that, why they asked her, why did you not participate in freak offs? And she made a statement saying that if it wasn't going to be me that day, he'll just find someone else.
Yeah.
Therefore, yeah, can you speak on that mentality? Like, if it's not me, it's going to be someone. So I guess I'm the chosen one for this.
It sounds like somebody who had already just accepted that this is what it was going to be and better me than somebody else. I get that.
Wow.
Most people don't. They don't want to get it. Do you want to know one of the things that I discovered while talking with people in the streets of New York? Because the truth is, the vibe around the courthouse, you walk 2 blocks, it's completely different. The rest of New York, they don't even care. Matter of fact, they can't wait for it to be over.
Wow.
And it showed me how hard New York has become. Because the truth is, every time one of the bad guys is on the hook in New York, 9 times out of 10, they getting off. Like these people are totally desensitized. I've heard so many people say, man, it's a lot of evidence, but you know they're going to probably just let them off. People really believe that. And guess what? For decades, they've had reason to believe it. The diddler has been diddling and doing all kinds of crazy stuff for decades.
Yeah, they
They
just gave him a
got
key to the
in the
city.
city.
They gave him a key to the city.
Well, you see the mayor that did that, and you see where he's at right now. Ain't nobody talking about him either. Should we put him on a milk cart? They're trying to pack everything away really neat. But at the end of the day, anyone who could look at that young woman, and she's still a young woman, even though Cassie's a full-grown woman now, mother of 3, she's still that little hurt girl. That's what people see. Can you
Yeah.
imagine what it must be like for her husband right now?
Okay.
Because he rescued her. He rescued her from that animal who hired him to train their bodies. You know, it's wild. I was
When you put it
talking to
like that.
Diddy's massage therapist. She was with him for 18 years. She's worked on a lot of celebrities. Her and I will be having a conversation soon. Because she said, listening to my commentary, it gave her a better understanding of all of the pain that she was relieving these bodies from. She didn't understand where it come from. That's how quarantined and tight they had it. They would go and do the damage, and then they would come to her for healing and wellness until she got too close. She worked with Justin Bieber too. You remember when Justin Bieber first started spiraling out, and then he was with Selena Gomez, and he started looking better and being better? He was working with this same therapist. And the second she got too close, they cut her off. She worked with Mariah Carey. Like, there's a lot of pain that's going on, and it's very well hidden. She never knew, because they know how to behave, when to behave. They know who to talk to, who not to talk to. They let this one in, they let that one in. If you get too close and you're too good a person, all of a sudden they send you to somebody else, or they cut off your work. This is a well-guarded, demonic life.
Yeah, no, Cassie spoke on one time in LA, of course, they were at the Intercontinental, and Diddy heard that Suge Knight was somewhere, uh, left the freak off to mask up, get him in all black, grab the guns, going to look for Suge Knight.
Mhm.
When you speak on bullying, you know, you hear stories like that, and you're like, you know, these are stories that people will talk about, but you know, to hear it firsthand and saying this is what's happening, where you'll leave a freak off to go look for your enemy, or it goes back to the Tupac Biggie scenario, which goes back to Keefy D. So they're kind of, I think they're dropping little things that could open up things later.
I'm hoping for sooner. I'm really hoping for sooner. It's it's just wild to me. This all feels so surreal, because I'll never forget sitting here with you guys telling you all of these things that you're hearing about and how you testify. And people say, oh, she's making it up. That never happened. She's crazy. I don't know. What is it like for you guys to hear all of this testimony after everything that we've shared together in these past 5 years?
It feels crazy.
Without question.
Wow.
Question is, why does everybody still want me to be a liar? Because it seems like from my contemporary era, I was probably one of the only artists that was brave enough to tell the truth. The abuse, the beatings, the pharmaceutical abuse, the financial abuse, the gaslighting, the surveillance, light and heavy. How did all of this happen without law enforcement knowing? Oh, that's right. They did know. Because there are people that have brought in sworn affidavits, prosecutors, lawyers, law enforcement, who said that they corrupted cases and put cases on people on behalf of the diddler. But they don't hear me though.
Can we, real quick, Jack? I want to, as you brought up Tory Lanez a little earlier, let's segue real quick into Tory Lanez before we get back to this. For Tory Lanez to get stabbed the day of this trial, and also days before releasing damning information that is going to possibly change the outlook of his case. And for him to, thank God he survived the situation where, again, they already put out the assailant who did it. He was part of the Hispanic community where they were worried about a gang war now, a race war. Give me your take on this, because again, to hear that news the morning of this
The
trial
Mexicans,
beginning,
it was the Mexicans that done it, right?
that's what they're saying. Yeah, yeah,
It
they
wasn't
put
no
it,
Puerto Rican, it was a Mexican. It made Ghana.
yeah.
Cartel?
All right, there you
It's
go.
just amazing to me. It's amazing to me. Sean Carter is trying to do whatever he has to do to tie up every loose end possible because he don't want to go sit with his friend. Interesting. Why is everybody not talking about the elephant, or should I say the camel in the room?
No, not the camel. Tory Lane's father had said we need to be looking that way. He tried to tell us you
I
need to
tried
be
to tell
looking
him
that way.
too. And instead, his lawyer that was supposed to be representing him, who failed beyond belief, ended up with a television series called Reasonable Doubt. Let's just be real. How many times have y'all heard me say he didn't do that? I made it very clear. I wasn't even fond of him. I was actually still a little pissed off about what he had done to August Alsina. Because that happened right before his situation happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said if he was going to go to jail for something, he should have gone to jail for what he actually done. But they enjoy putting cases on people for things that they didn't do. It's a humiliation tactic. How many bad cases have been put on me to try to humiliate me, ruin my character? Now, Kelsey's bodyguard, it literally took Tory almost being unalive on a brick machine to get him to realize this has gone too far. Got press conferences going on now. I told everybody that boy needs to be released from jail before something happens to him. And now I'm sitting here looking at DDG. Everybody that says no to the Jigga Man always seems to end up in some kind of bad situation. I know I said no to him. Who was it? Didn't King Von say no to him too?
Man.
A lot of people that say no to the Jigga Man seem to end up either with a bad case or just no face, no case. But they not friends. Even though Diddy said he was his main strategist. The person that he went to get him out of trouble, his brother. The only other person that can call him Sean.
Should because Jay doesn't speak on none of this. He doesn't even acknowledge that this is happening at all.
Yeah, that's two signs of mental illness. That's great delusion. Just like him and his wife in this Cowboy Carter foolishness. I sang it to her before. I should have sang it to her husband. Stand by your man. That's your man, ain't it? 100 grand. You and the diddler. You should be sitting there with him. Period. Rather than sitting around finding drunk attorneys, alleged drunk attorneys down Biscayne Bay with questionable offices in Little Havana to put me in lawsuits for things that I couldn't have possibly done because I was sitting in jail for the first case you had put on me that you used my first ex-husband to do. Isn't it interesting? The trap that he set for me then is my alibi now. People need to stop with these lawsuits. It's becoming embarrassing for them.
And no, yeah, you mentioned DDG, and it's interesting, with the Haley Bailey and their connection with the Carters
Mm-hmm.
for just to fall on DDG, where he's like, it seems that if you're connected with the Carters from Megan Thee Stallion, from Halle Bailey, that
Oh no, we can go all the way back. We can go back a lot further than that. Why is Chris Brown in jail right now
oh yeah, come on,
in London?
correct. I mean, well, he did hit somebody in the head with a bottle. I mean,
Are we sure that actually happened?
hey.
Are we sure that he was left with no choice? I'll never forget, not long after that whole foolishness between him and Rihanna, and he went to do what was it, Good Morning America, to do a performance, and they gaslit him so bad in that green room, and he freaked out on their asses, and he should have, for what they were trying to do to him. And then they made sure that was publicized. Then they just arrest him in Texas too. Last year, we talked about that, right?
Yeah, that was a fight. That was an altercation on some gang activity, I guess. I don't know.
Here's a bunch of gang for a dancing man. Not a gang. For a man that sings and dances.
Very questionable.
Let's look at the lineup. Rihanna was signed to Jay-Z. Chris Brown wasn't playing ball the way they wanted him to. The next thing you know, he gets labeled as a woman abuser, and then they put the dogs on him. Oh, you beat up a woman, and oh, you did this. It's funny because they all beat up women too, allegedly. And some I've seen. I'm just trying to figure it out. Can't nobody else be women beaters but y'all?
Oof.
I'm just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, you wanted something. Jeez.
You got Rihanna? She done it to the and Haley is signed to the baby, which means she's signed to the Jigga Man. Her baby daddy, didn't nobody know that she was pregnant until right before the end. And then it was all wonderful and it was great. And then all of a sudden he's not treating her right. Whoopty-whoopty-whoop. Are we sure that's real? Because she got a restraining order against him. He said that he was defending himself from her, just like Chris Brown was defending himself from Rihanna in that car. She said she had a chip too. But then again, it was also noted that that chip was too, it was broken before this incident.
Yeah.
So now we're just going back and we just snatching up everything that happened and then throwing it in there. That's what we doing? Keke Palmer and Pearl dude.
Yeah.
Also attached to the Jigga Man and the Diddler. And from what I remember, Keke's baby daddy is also a Diddyite as well and been messed over by the Diddler. Allegedly. And then the whole thing blew up with Usher disrespecting that man all over his woman. You see, do you see how they put their little minions out there?
Yeah, I see. Jeez.
Why is it? And then it brings us back to Megan and Tory. Why he always putting these whack ass bitches on men that he can't control? Or men that tell him no. And then the next thing you know, they tell him no, and then everybody's in court. Everybody's a woman beater. Everybody's got restraining orders. Guess what? As long as he's got that restraining order on him, he can't legally carry firearm, which means if anybody run up on him, oops, liquid handcuffs, paper handcuffs.
Come on.
That's what they do.
Now,
Now,
Jack,
we is like Tory.
now, Jack, we got to get your take because everyone probably has some type of freaky nature in their past. I guess I don't know, but when you hear stories about when you hear stories about where Diddy he likes for the man
Freak what they got going on. Ain't no freak.
to hear the stories of a man ejaculating on Cassie and then him and Cassie, Diddy and Cassie going to another room to rub it on his nipples. When you hear things like that, is it like is that like wow? Like are you wowed by that? Like wow, I didn't know he got down like
I
that.
was
But
dominatrix, and I was very well trained. I've heard all kinds of weird stuff. All kinds. And most of that stuff that I've heard, it lines right up with the weird world. But see, those are usually, paid for transactions. That's not a relationship. See? That's not a relationship.
come on.
You had a concubine. Bought and paid for. She was your personal party favor for over a decade. Number one, people that deal in the body fluid, it just kind of irked me. Because I don't get it. And what I'm not getting is why in God's name are people still trying to make it seem like he's not gay? Well, actually, he isn't gay. He's a sodomite. There's a difference.
Yeah.
But clearly, this is a man who loves man-on-man interaction. He liked it so much, he wants to just nourish his skin. I bet he puts it in smoothies. Extra protein. Well, see what I'm saying is, these aren't things that a straight man would ever be involved in. Ever. There is no straight man who loves women vagina that would ever be interested in these things. So why are we sitting here scrutinizing the validity of his relationships with women when men that like that kind of stuff, they're not really capable of loving women? So then why was she there?
She said she thought she was in a monogamous relationship. She thought that.
Well, I'm sure for a minute there until she popped up and Kim was there. Or Gina was there. Or whoever was there. Or Misa was there. Or whoever was there. Just because a guy tells you you're the only one doesn't mean it's true. But you're more likely to believe it the younger you are because you're still stuck in that Disney fantasy.
That's real. That's real.
This is a kid. Let's remember, she was 19 years old, 20 years old, 21 years old. She came from Connecticut. She didn't come from Hell's Kitchen. She came from Connecticut. And even though Connecticut do got hood and it ain't New York, She was a deer in headlights. And she was constantly being distracted with little carrots and little bottles along the way. Oh, you'll be in a movie. You'll be a big star. And then all the women around her. Oh, girl, you know, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. This is, man, you better be happy that he's, look, you put up with this. I promise you, you're going to be able to write your own ticket. Whoopty, whoopty, woo.
You know, when they seized 1,000 bottles of baby oil,
Mm-hmm.
to hear how because I was like, you know, that's a lot of baby oil, but to hear like how much was used during these freak offs, again, are you surprised about the amount? Like she said, they would go through bottles, large quantities of bottles, 4 or 5
I was
each
wondering
time.
when they was going to bring out the, you know, the slip and slide.
Right, might as well. Might as
Is that
well.
what it was? The slip and slide. No friction.
Man, that is a kink. That is a kink. I saw
No, that ain't no kink. That's just straight nasty. You want to make sure that you can slide into anything. And considering what that girl said about the size of his manhood being like a, you know, a jumbo Tootsie Roll. He'd probably get in somebody's ear or nose if he wanted to. He's just slide on everything. Where can I fit? Put me in, coach. This is crazy. Crazy. All of it. Crazy.
Well, we have to speak for the other side too, Jag. Where you know today, of course, the defense started their questioning of Cassie, and they presented text messages where Cassie showed that
Mm-hmm.
she was ready for the free call. She wanted them, asking Diddy, "When's the next one? I'm
Yeah,
ready
she
to
was
please
ready
you. I'm ready to do for you."
he was ready to do whatever he wanted to do so that she could have what she was promised. It's the only thing that proves. Those text messages prove nothing more. You know how many guys I told them whatever they wanted to hear? Lots.
Oh,
That's what I used to do when I was kicking it with an executive or two. People from Comcast. You know, when I was
come on,
kicking it with an executive or two, people
come
over
on.
there at Sony.
Oof.
You tell them whatever they want to hear because they write the checks. They approve the budgets. She wanted to be a star. Period. Only thing those text messages prove is that she was willing to tell him whatever he needed to hear. There's also text messages of her saying, why don't you ever really spend any real time with me? I'm not interested in your money. Why don't you want to spend time with me? Good questions for a woman who's asking questions. The question is how long did he keep up the charade that he actually cared about her before she realized he didn't? Everybody plays games. Let's not act like that's not real. When a dirty old man comes at you, do you think that little white girl, the 25 grand a cheap girl, meant half of the stuff that she was saying to Shannon Sharp? Of course not.
Yeah, she seemed like she set him up from the jump.
He
I don't
set
know.
himself up. He set himself up. I'm just curious when it's finally going to get talked about that allegedly it was Kevin Hart that set the whole thing up to make sure it happened because he was pissed off that Shay Shay let Cat Williams tell the truth on his show. Wah wah.
Mm, come on, hold on. They say Shaq also had a
No,
bounty out.
the story was that Shaq did it so nobody would know allegedly that it was little Kevin Twinkie Hot.
Man,
And let's not forget his appearances at Diddy parties with remote controls and dildos on the bed. Asking Diddy why he felt so comfortable with sharing the story about him and Usher fighting in the bed over the
Yeah. When all these videos of Diddy resurface, it does hit different now. When you watch like the one that's resurfacing with the award acceptance, where he's saying he calls out Cassie, Love, KK, his lawyer, and everyone, and all these old videos. It just hits different now when you watch everything that's coming out to where, man,
You
what was
mean
going on in those rooms?
we're talking about Christina Corum,
Christina Corum,
the
KK.
woman who they tried to make me a stand-in for in that fake lawsuit from Ashley Parham, because everything that they said that I did, allegedly, that's exactly what Christina Corum did.
Wow.
I ain't even white. And there's no way I'd be riding shotgun with somebody that tried to sue Michael Jackson after he died.
Jeez.
They just make it up as they go along. They really don't care. Cassie was a young girl in New York trying to make it. I know a lot of girls that did far worse things than Cassie did do to make it. And guess what? It was a long time ago. She ain't got to explain why she did anything that she did at all to anyone. It doesn't matter. Like, that's the thing. None of these things matter. What matters is the harm. And how people were around watching that harm happen and helping facilitate it and helping cover it up.
Are we going to be surprised about some of the other names that may come about throughout these next few
I'm
weeks?
sure everyone's going to be surprised. I just don't know why.
Yeah, we keep
Because
asking. We keep asking.
I've been saying my Rico prayers. I get down on my knees at night before I go to bed, and I say what I call the Rico prayer. And I pray to God that everybody I want on that Rico list makes it there. Let me show you a little demonstration. Dear God, I want to thank you for all of the prayers of mine that you have answered, all of the guidance that you've given me. And Lord, I'm just coming to you now with a clear heart, and I'm asking that Sean Corey Carter be attached to this Rico. I am asking that his wife, Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter, whatever, be added to this Rico. Mary J. Blige as a procurer and cover-upper. Jennifer Lopez. Who else do I want in Rico? Yes, Curtis Periwinkle Jackson. And who else? Oh, yes, Rick Ross. Rose. Khaled. Who else? Yes, Clive Davis. And Ra's al Ghul. And Lord, if you see fit to grant my prayer, I promise you, I will continue to share your love and your message and all of the mercy that you will grant. And thank you in Yeshua's name. I say yo.
Oh man. Okay. There you go. There you
I'm doing
go.
just like that with a smile on my face every night, like I'm asking for a brand new car for Christmas. Sure do.
There you
Because
go.
they belong there. They all belong there. Why is nobody talking about Mary J. Blige ratting on Kim Porter and Kathy White when Kathy White was meeting with Kim Porter allegedly to give her the evidence of the Jigga Man and his freak wife threatening her about her pregnancy, allegedly, right before she died. Allegedly, for the last year of her life, she had been going to Kim Porter looking for help and aid. and protection that she wasn't getting from friends like Claudia Jordan. It's funny, Claudia Jordan is also very quiet right now. Or is she? Because see, what I think is, now that she's old and the Botox is failing,
Damn.
it's starting to look like she's found her own replacement. Girl named Jackie McKinney, goes by Tisa Tells, who's sitting over there in New York wearing clothes that I know came out of Claudia's closet, allegedly. She started off as a tarot card reader, and now she's supposed to be a Diddy expert. I found it very funny, all right, before the trial. They did a whole podcast where Tisa was brought in as a Diddy expert on Claudia's podcast. Why would you need? That girl ain't got no industry background. Her husband was a third string nobody on a not. We didn't make it to the NFL team. Was it the Sun Devils? Busted up knee from what I hear. Potential gambling problem and a bad golfer. At least that's what I heard about Jackie McKinney, known as Tisa Tell's husband. Since when did you become an industry anything? What do you know? You don't know anything. You have sources. That's what you say. Your sources. And I'm saying it right now. I believe, and I'll say allegedly for the record, Tisa Tells is a mouthpiece for Claudia Jordan, who's trying to help rewrite history and cover her ass. You're pathetic. You and your little Inspector Gadget hoe got up there in a trench coat looking like she on Current Affairs. And she needs some rest, or she needs less time playing in the snow in her nose. Alleged. Paying people to walk up to her to act like they know who she is, so she can feel like she has some value, because she's mad that when Jaguar Wright pulls up, the whole press corps shows up. I'm tired of you hoes. Tired. Why you need this nobody, this Tisa fool, this idiot with her mouth guard and her lace front? Why do you need her to come and give you Diddy news? You were sitting on Diddy's lap, Claudia. Hugged up. Diddy do our box style. You should be able to give all the Diddy news yourself. But you can't, can you? It must make you sick having to find a stand-in in a moment that you can't be at because you stood too close to the sun and you failed. You and Jason Lee, you're on my radar. You, Jason, all of you little weirdos, you little reality TV weirdos. All YouTubers should be thrown out of that courthouse. And the truth is, if they knew the kind of dark magic that's being brewed up in there, they wouldn't want to be. Because that's why I ain't going in there. The devil's in it.
Come on.
I ain't going in there. I got somebody in there, but I ain't going in there.
So let me ask you.
Everybody in there gonna be cursed except for Cassie, her family, and that baby. Everybody gonna be cursed. All of y'all. Y'all keep playing around.
Misa's already limping to the courthouse. You know, I mean, Misa's already kind of had it's taking a toll on her already. So it's.
Who cares about Misa? Misa don't care about Misa.
Damn.
They you didn't see how they all started their little fake little lawsuits all year long. Distraction. What did I say on Pierce Morgan? Little fires everywhere. Oh, by the way, speaking of Pierce Morgan, didn't anybody see the hit job he was trying to do to deflect off of the jury selection, going after Kanye?
We seen that, yes, going after Kanye. Uh, uh, and Kanye abruptly ended the interview and was demanding the respect that saying, "Hey, you play my music at your weddings. You will not, you will not start off like that." And I'm glad that he had the audacity to end that because again, it started off in a sense that we're gonna go left.
Pierce was playing in his face. Ye had every right to get up and walk away and salute to Sneeko. Sneeko, holla at me. I like some of what you had to say. Holla at me.
You
I
know,
appreciate what you're doing. I
Pierce
do.
had Pierce had just interviewed. I know you probably haven't seen it, but he just did an interview with the big homie CC. And you know,
Huh?
big homie, yeah, right, big homie saying that they're trying to silence him as well. So not only
They
you,
should. After the way he tried to silence me, they should. After the way he kept guaranteeing me that Jay-Z was suing me. I guess he didn't know they was putting your name in that fake lawsuit either, too. Huh? So,
yeah,
I ain't got a lot of sympathy.
yeah,
Not at all. And apparently, he's easily replaced because what is his name? The 607 he holding it down fine. Ain't nobody missing it.
yeah. 607 Unc has entered to the. He has entered the chat.
Yeah. Salute to him.
For real. So
Welcome to the Terror Dome, baby.
right, welcome to the Terror Dome. Oh,
I mean,
Jax,
whatever. I was done the second that I seen Pierce host and choke no joke. I was done. I was done.
yeah,
Like,
no. Pierce had he tried to tell her. I forgot the white anchor, but wanted her to say the N word. Say it while another black man was on the. I'm like Pierce, man. He has a way. I'm like this guy,
no, he
man.
doesn't. He doesn't have a way. He ain't got nothing. He's bluffing on nothing. He ain't nothing but a puppet.
No,
I'm on your ass too. Tell your lawyer Oliver. I'm probably going to be making a phone call soon. You gonna block me for what? You paid me late. You edited my interview. You lied and said you got a cease and desist when all you got was a phone call. You're a liar. You ain't no different than Vlad, G.
well,
And I can understand why. Being stuck in the crack of Rupert Murdoch's ass for 25 years must be creating some kind of agitation for you. You ain't nothing but a little boy carrying water, just like the rest of these weirdos who have pledged allegiance to the devil. And your relationship with Candace Owens is looking real weird. Matter of fact, Candace Owens' relationships is just looking weird, period. How is she doing sitting with Jason Lee as Zeus?
hey,
She wants to sit there and narrow down on the fact that she believes she's always going to stand by Ye because she believes that the reason why he's mentally ill is because of what they did to him. What the CIA doctor did. Oh, so you're willing to back up that there's something wrong with him. But you're not willing to call Pierce out for trying to label him an anti-Semite. Ain't making no sense.
come on.
Meanwhile, walking through the streets of Manhattan, and apparently there's a new Messiah.
Oh,
Yeah, his name is Moshiach. Or Moshiach, something like that.
mm.
The Messiah.
the return. Hold on, wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah, that's what they said. I seen it. What was it?
Well, that
They
is New
had
York.
all up and down. What was it? What was it like? 40, 42nd and 6th? No, 42nd and 9th. They had them all tagged all around it. The Messiah. The
I mean,
Messiah already came.
right.
And y'all made sure he left. We don't need no more remixes. Yeshua, not Moshiach, or whatever you call him. I'm tired. It's just all the lies. All the lies. And who appointed him the mouthpiece for Jewish sensitivity?
Don't talk to us.
It's my job. I'm here to hold him accountable. He reminds. Did you ever see the movie V for Vendetta?
Yes.
Do you remember the character, the TV character that they had?
Yes.
The voice
Yes.
of London.
Yes.
It's that I'm starting to think that they modeled that after Pierce.
Come on. Come on. Jay, hold on, real quick. I gotta ask you. In regards to the Diddy's trial, there's
Mm-hmm.
there's 8 male jurors, 4 women jurors.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably a win for the defense by saying we have 8 men who, in history, men they understand that some people may cry wolf as far as women going against men. And do you feel like these 8 men will
Are
be
they gay
sympathetic?
or straight? See, that's the question.
Yeah.
Are the men in the jury gay or straight? Because if they're all straight, that ain't no win for them. Because any straight man would be repulsed by what they hear about what he likes to do.
Mm.
Only way that works is if they all queer and deviant. That's the only way that works for the ungay gay man. Because that's what Diddy is. He's the ungay gay man.
No, understandable.
There are no wins for them. There are no wins for them. God said no. It's just that simple. You can run, but you cannot hide from God. And when God is just done, he's just done. I'm telling y'all, all of y'all, God said no to your concerts, to your merchandise, to your liquor, to your pharmaceuticals. God said no to your concubines, to your bearded wives, like Kimora. God said no. You want to know
Jack,
what's sad? A lot of these girls got involved with these queer men, knowing that they were queer men because they wanted the status symbol, and then they survived until their divorce so that they could finally go off and be with the kind of man they really wanted to be. You want to know the problem, though, with most beard women? After they leave their gay husband or their sodomite husband, they don't know how to be with real men. God bless Cassie. Cassie got blessed. She got lucky. Because usually after dealing with those kind of perverts and weirdos, it's hard to be with a real man again.
they said that Cassie wasn't with Diddy. He didn't live with Diddy for the whole 10 years.
I know.
Right.
Some girlfriend. He was living with Kim half of that time. But he really didn't live with anyone. So once again, where are these relationships? It sounds like, he rented women until he was done.
Can you explain to the people
Lisa
why
Ho got
Cassie, why would Cassie stay there the whole 10 years? Like, could she escape that all you when she didn't live with him? Like,
Did
you
you
see what I'm saying?
see?
Like,
Did you see her trying to leave the hotel?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we
Yeah.
saw that. Yeah, it went bad.
Did you see her try to leave the hotel?
Yeah,
She didn't have no
she's probably
shoes
tried
on.
that before.
She didn't have no shoes on. That's how bad she was trying to get out of there. She ran out without shoes on.
Come on.
And then they want to say, oh, well, it was sped up and it made it look a lot worse than what it is. So he jogged, butt naked in a towel, out into the hallway and kicked her slow. And he, you know, when he hummed the bass at her, when he got her back in the room, that happened slow too, huh? And it's still connected. Interesting. This is ridiculous, is it not?
It is. And are you even surprised that Cassie is testifying in
No,
that much detail that she's doing?
no. And the thing is she's probably not giving a lot of detail. How many times have I told y'all with all the things that I've said, I ain't even said nothing yet? I got a feeling Cassie's living in that world right now. There are going to be things she's never going to say. There are things I'm sure she don't ever want to remember again. But when other men show interest in you and you show interest in them, and they are threatened, bullied, assaulted, terrorized away from you, then what?
Thanks. So
What do you do? No, seriously. You're involved with a man who was running around carte blanche, law enforcement, impervious to, and every time you try to move on, the man, see, I know what this is like. I know what it's like.
so Jag,
I'll
give
never
me.
forget the first time I had met someone that I really liked. After I had walked away from my Illuminati approved marriage. I really liked him. And the second that people found out it was serious, the conversation that I had to have with him when he told me about the envelope that was dropped off to him. Unfavorable things that I didn't remember because all of that footage was taken while I had been pharmaceuticaled out against my will.
Jack, can I ask? If this could go two ways. Diddy walks out of that courtroom found not guilty. What does that look like for hip hop? What does that look like
That's not
for?
gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. God said no. That's not gonna happen.
So then,
See, these are the scenarios that I see.
yeah.
He gets convicted, people get scared, and then the next thing you know, he ends up like Epstein. Or he gets convicted after the superseding indictments come in, and the rest of the co-defendants that'll be attached to the RICO, and then we're gonna see. But I got a feeling we got a lot of people that's just gonna be, you know, like there's no turning back. They've been trying to stop this from happening to him since Natanya Rubin got pow-powed in the face. Like, they've been trying to stop this that's happening now from happening for over 25 years. It's happening. Which means it could no longer be ignored. Like that's the thing. People have to get over all of the ooh, I think he's gonna no. Nobody in the government wanted this to happen. Which means if it's happening, it's because the government had no choice. It's a federal case. 95% conviction rate. They don't show up in court unless they know they pretty much got the whole thing sold up. They would literally have to be able to prove that Diddy wasn't Diddy and it was a lookalike for him to be able to get off. Like people really need to get over the fairy tales about the Joker, still being alive at the end of the movie.
All right.
We got to stop fostering insanity and get to reality. It's the United States versus Sean Combs. And he is black. And his money is dwindling.
Do you feel it's a bigger play at the end of all this?
Of course it's a bigger play. This is just the beginning. And I can say that as a defender of freedom. Honored by America's future. By General Michael Flynn. Who's a bona fide American hero. Yeah. This is just the beginning. And I'm going to be right there. I'm the ghost of hip hop past. I have forgotten nothing. And I'm going to make sure nobody else forgets anything else. Like this is war. I know what they want. They want to put a gag order on me like Wendy Williams or shove me off. That's what they want. See, the last person that anybody wants out here at this time is me. You should be scared, but not of me. You should be scared of how you've pissed off God.
Now, the judge involved in this case, he's only been a judge in this district for the past 2 years.
Thank
Do you,
God.
yeah, do you feel they needed like a more experienced judge to kind of come in and hone this thing in? Or do
Why would
you
they need a more experienced judge that has probably been involved in some kind of corrupt something or other? Or, no, they needed someone fresh. We need
yes.
everything fresh. We need everything as close to incorruptible as possible. Any other judge? Probably not. They got the right judge.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I didn't think about that. Yeah. New York is already a corruptible place, so
Diddy has been operating a corrupt enterprise in New York for over 30 years now. You don't think with all of the many cases that have been tossed away, that some of those judges that he's already done? Yeah, no. They got the right judge.
definitely. And how was it and how is it being amongst people who have watched you on YouTube, know your story, to be amongst those people as you have those boots on the ground, you're out there in New York. How's it to actually go out and touch the fans that have been beyond your music career, have followed you on this journey, and be able to see you in person and just witness you? Because yes, you are right. They do try to silence the people who are speaking truth, and they have not been able to do anything about your voice as far as being out here and speaking your truth. To go out there with people that are being able to see you and touch you and say, oh, that's Jaguar. Again, I'm glad you have security. I'm glad you're honing that in. But how is it to be amongst the people?
Humbling. I was talking with one of my producers the other day, and me and the Team, we're out in the street, walking about. And when they come up to me, it's, when I was younger, I've been famous my whole adult life. For one thing or another. But see, when I was younger, it was about the music, who you with, who you showed up with. But this is different because it's not for any of those things. It's for what I say and for what I believe in, for what I share from my heart. I'm the people's celebrity. I'm the people's champ. Legitimately. That means so much more to me than fame and fashion, the hugs I get. When they start crying and I start crying, and they say, please don't stop, keep going, we're here for you. It just makes me not want to let them down. Because I know they want the same thing that I want. A cruelty-free future. And for those who are in the arts, I know they want a cruelty-free artistry future. It's humbling, but it's so much better than what it was before. Even with my music, because of the infectious nature of sound and frequencies, oftentimes, even if you give it all up to God and say it's all for God, people worship the gift that God put inside of you. But this is different because everything that I'm saying is from God, and I give God all of the honor and all of the praise. I do not allow anyone to worship what I'm doing unless they're worshiping God. People show up in my lives saying, Jag, because of you, I started praying again. Jag, you make it hard to resist following God. Yeah, it's different.
Come on.
Definitely.
Definitely. Well, with that being said, Jag, you currently are, definitely in New York. Can you speak on as far as what you might be working on, anything additional outside of course, you're there. But what are
Jaguar
you?
Wright,
Come on. Come on.
we're going big world. We're gonna take it off YouTube. We're going big world. We're not gonna leave. Our platforms here are our platforms here. The Jaguar Wright Show, the Jaguar Wright Effect, affiliated channels like Set in the West, Kicking It with Auntie Leah. We're building up our own little Real News press corps. Archangel Michael, Jay Mizek, of course, Ayasha the Shea Bay. Like we're building our little team because we need to have an arc for the truth on YouTube.
Yes.
And that's what we've become. And that's going to be there. But to have the Jaguar Wright Show in people's home, giving them the real, letting them know what's going on 5 days a week, that's where we are.
Yes. Can you speak on what is expected from the Jaguar Wright Show? What kind of content is it? What you're going to be doing? Are you still in the working phases of getting that done, or are you kind of already filming, already going?
We're filming. I wish I could say more. I'm glad that I got to have my production meeting, so I was giving my talking points of what I can say and can't say. But no, we're filming. I'm going to be talking to the heart of what's going on. Like, these are serious human issues that are being addressed in this trial. And in the weeks to come, it's going to get a lot worse. It's going to get a lot nastier. I mean, the truth is most people that I speak to about this, they're turned off because of how horrific what they're hearing sounds. They don't even want to hear it. So I really want to focus on the human aspect, interviewing real survivors, giving them a chance to speak without being overly edited, letting them get to the heart of their stories, showing people the before and the after, what happened. Like, we're going to take all of this content and we're going to go deeper. It's not going to be shallow at all in any way, shape, or form. Of course, we're going to have fun. And of course, everything about me is going to be included, not just interviews, but live Q&A with the audience, where the audience gets to come in and speak to me directly. And I get to go back and forth with them like I go back and forth with you guys. Live performances, dedicating special songs to certain survivors who we have. It's going to be a very, very, very tailor-made Jaguar Wright experience.
Definitely. Sounds good.
I don't want to liken it to anyone's show, but what I will hope for is that we have the same impact that Wendy had, because right now, with Wendy Williams not here, and she should be here, Wendy should be vocal right now. She should be so vocal right now.
Right.
No, because people keep forgetting she knows all of this. Some of it she knows even better than me. Some of it she hipped me to. Like, Wendy was the chick before me that warned the chicks about where all of the little mines were in the minefield and where to step and how to step. And I continued that on. But Bad Boy, the promotion that Bad Boy got to start as Uptown was fading away quickly and rapidly, and MCA was forced to completely restructure. If it wasn't for Wendy Williams, I don't even know if Bad Boy would have popped.
Right.
Wendy promoted all of that. Wendy put all of that up. And he screwed her over every chance she got because she just wanted them to be honest. Like, if y'all gonna be doing all this gay stuff, why can't you just be gay? Why you gotta pretend?
Be accountable.
Just be yourself. Wendy was right about that. But see, they wanted Wendy to shut up about it because how are they going to be able to blackmail anybody if everybody was telling the truth? Look at Frank Ocean. The second he came out the closet, his career went in the closet. Sid from the internet. Now she only good enough to write Beyonce songs, not have her own projects. Why is it when they come out and claim who they are? Maxwell, in his golden era of peace, he finally out the closet. Everybody act like they don't, you know. Why is that? Why is it only the closeted homosexual or sodomite get celebrated, and the ones who are out? You want to know why? Because they can't blackmail them anymore. That's what this is all about.
Hey.
Keeping people chained up with secrets and lies. I tell you one thing. If you were in the closet gay artist, looking at what happened to Frank Ocean's career might make you change your mind. Look at Lil Nas X. He fizzled out fast too.
So would you say someone like Justin Bieber's a victim? I just seen he is reportedly selling his whole catalog because he's broke.
Yeah. Yeah. And once he finishes getting that money, I don't understand why he's broke. He didn't have to be broke. Usher just wouldn't stop robbing him.
Damn.
I mean, Usher couldn't keep his hands out of his pocket. It's funny. He got him signed and turned over custody to Diddy. And boy was never the same, and neither was Usher's pockets, because Usher's been living off of Justin Bieber's money. He ain't been living off of his own. Because the truth is, Usher don't really make that kind of money. And I'm really just kind of sick and tired of Usher Raymond.
Yeah,
I'm really kind of disgusted with Usher Raymond, who does Greek wrestling nude with men over Frosted Flakes, allegedly. Like, I'm sick and tired of this guy who everyone knows got the Diddy bumps, who's been sued for passing them on and lost, is still sitting there disgracing women in front of their men who bought the tickets to like that whole scheme.
He's causing a lot of divorce courts.
Yeah, but why? He don't even want them. He don't want them women. He's literally doing it just to destroy relationships.
How long do you think the trial is gonna last?
They're saying 2 months. They're saying 2 months. I don't think that's going to be so. I got a feeling this thing's going to drag out a little bit longer than that. I also have a feeling that there are going to be some people coming forward during this trial that might change the timeline as well. I'm sick and tired of all these women lusting after all of these sodomites. I'm sick and tired. See, and really, I need somebody to start talking about these women. Do we not see Mary J. Blige? Have you seen the clips from her shows?
Yeah, it's
Not being able to sing.
Making the audience sing.
Audience doing damn near the whole show while she's sitting there dressed up in all them colorful onesies, them god awful boots, dancing. She's looking more like a trans woman than a real woman every day. Why is nobody paying attention to the fact that her nor Beyonce seem to be very all that interested in their shows right now? Beyonce can't wait to get off stage, they say. I guess that's why they asking for refund. That they didn't come there to see the March of Dimes. And I mean that. They didn't come there to watch you parade children around because you don't want to be there. Stabling up your daughter, your alleged daughter. Trying to sit there and go tit for tat with Kanye. Meanwhile, everybody can see that he ain't lie about them twins. Got people online making fun of your family because you want to retire and you can't, because you got to keep earning money for legal fees because your loans keep getting denied. Didn't I say that a little while ago? They need to do the remix. The banks are saying no, 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 no. When they used to say yes, yes, yeah. And the banks is saying no. Or, maybe we should do another remix. The Mary J. Blige, the Your Child. We can dedicate that to him and Ramir. And girlfriend, She wasn't disrespectful. In fact, she's 100% sure. And how can I argue with her? Holding a baby with eyes and a mouth and a nose just like yours. She said it's your child. And it really messed me up. Yeah.
Yeah.
How can you deny your own flesh and blood? I should be in the audience so that they can actually hear it sung, since she can't do it no more. I'm tired of all you old hoes. I really am. You were whack then, you're even whacker now. And I can't wait till somebody starts speaking up on y'all and all the things you've done, because I'm still not understanding how nobody is bringing up Mary J. Blige's name when she was right there procuring and babysitting whatever catch Diddy had for the week, making sure people stayed in line, giving them the Janice Combs treatment. How many pictures have we seen with Diddy, Mary, Young Miami, Diddy, Mary, Cassie, and she always got to have somebody clutched by the arm.
Oh.
Calling up Diddy. Ooh, Kathy and Kim talking. Allegedly, they couldn't even have lunch at Barney's without your nosy ass sitting there. I'm tired of you, Mary J. Minaj. And I promise you, in the name of Yeshua, Gitmo or back to Yonkers Projects. But you're going. I'm finna get started on you, ho.
Ooh. Ooh.
It's time.
What's up?
Time. Sick and tired of them. Betrayers of women. Long as it ain't you, huh? Long as it's somebody else. Which kind of loops back into what Cassie was saying. If it wasn't going to be her, it was going to be somebody else. And Faith, please stop doing interviews. For the love of God, please stop. Stop.
All right.
If you are not going to tell the truth, Valletta Wallace is no longer here to judge you. If you are not going to start telling the truth, please shut up. Or at least tell us where we can go find Stevie J. Because ain't he on the milk carton? He was running off with Justin just a couple weeks ago. Ain't nobody seen Stevie? Where's Stevie?
Come on.
Stevie, you at Starz. You at Starz, Stevie. Where you at? You were very vocal a couple months ago. There's a lot of people that's not saying nothing. But for Jonathan Adi to be being held in jail and they keep playing with his case so he can't be available to testify for what he said, that Rick Ross, Rose, and Khaled and Diddy was in a threesome of a lovers thing. I told y'all about that neck that Khaled got. I told y'all. As fast as he is, that neck moves fast. And apparently, Jonathan Adi said so too.
Man.
It's funny how they keep playing with all of these cases, doing all of this stuff. I'm just tired. Really.
Man.
I'm tired of the lies. I'm tired of the foolishness. But no matter how tired of it I am, I will always have enough energy to get up and blast every last one of y'all fools every chance I get. God said no. And he meant it.
Man,
But it's getting right.
that's real. Yeah, no. I was gonna say, Jack, what we would love to do, again, as this
I'm
case
close
goes
to
on.
the roof, and it's about to, it's that last bit of sun before it gets dark here.
It's power hour. It's power hour. Uh, um, uh, as this case goes on. Again, we can't wait to watch what the Jaguar Wright show does, what the Jaguar Wright effect is. What you're actually broadcasting and telling. Again, we want the people to stay tuned to what you're doing. And again, if we need to have more conversations on our end, we definitely are going to tap back in and just kind of see what's going on, because it does seem like every day something new is going to come forward. And I want to make sure people go to your channel to get your take on the daily commentary that happens.
Well, I won't be doing daily commentary. I will be doing updates because the truth is, I don't want to fuck it up for the prosecution.
Okay, there you go.
I really don't. I talked to the lead prosecutor, and I want her to win. And there are already too many people meddling in this case that are doing this and doing that. Like, shout out to Khadisha Lynn, who's doing real journalism, doing real reporting. But for every one of her, there's 20 of them that are in there remixing it, lying it, and giving their own spin. I don't need to be one of them. What I will be doing is doing relevant updates weekly, and maybe more. What I would suggest is, if you really want to see what's going on, our boots on the ground is the Jaguar Wright Effect. It's our community channel. And please tap into all of the other, channels in the J algorithm, baby, because it's real.
Yes, yes, it is
And
real.
I'm my own sector. It's so funny. They keep, creating sectors to destroy me, and instead I built one to acknowledge and honor God. The J Truth algorithm. That's who we are. That's what it is. But yeah, just stay tapped in. And if all else fails, I keep everything that we're doing on thejaguarright.com. Anywhere we are, you can find it. I mean, tonight I'm going to be on Twitter Space with Liz Crokin.
There you go. There you
And we're
go.
going to be talking about a lot.
Shout out Liz. Shout out
Yeah.
Liz. Well, with that being said, Jag, we have to say it again. Again, the truth is real. The truth is out there, and right now, people are seeing, uh, they're seeing it unhinged. And of course, some people are ready for it. I mean, again, you prepped a lot of people for a lot of things that are coming. When they go back and watch everything that you spoke on, you kind of prepped the world for all of this. So you are
The
one of
truth
the.
is, if they want to get up to speed, all they got to do is watch every video that I've done here on Real Life Productions.
There you go. There you go.
That's your prep.
There you go. There will
And
be no
make sure
surprises
that
there.
you put on your prayer prophylactic as you listen, because we about to get into some deep shit. And trust me, you
Yes.
don't want to get none on you.
Come on. Come on. With that being said, Jag, once again, we appreciate you. Thank you for again getting out there. Thank you for your words of wisdom. And once again, you're back to it, back on the blue couch, back in the arena. Welcome to the Thunderdome.
Yes,
Jaguar
yes,
Wright.
definitely. The Terror Dome.
The Terror Dome. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Jaguar Wright. We gotta say it, man. You are a real life street star. We salute you, man. Thank you.